Hey guys, we're going to look at something a little different today. Since the LEDs and drivers haven't shown up for my e-bike, we're going to take a quick look at the Raspberry Pi B+. This is going to be the Raspberry Pi 1 Model B+. I haven't gotten my hands on a Raspberry Pi 2 yet, but this is still a pretty interesting board. What the Raspberry Pi is basically a computer on a single board. It runs on a Broadcom SoC. I can't remember offhand which one. I'll throw in a little link here, maybe over here, to the actual Raspberry Pi Foundation's website. I'll also throw it down in the description. There'll be links everywhere. So what is the Raspberry Pi? Well, like I said, it's a computer on a single board basically. But why would I want to use the Raspberry Pi? Well, first of all, look at the size of it. That's cool. And it may not have much power, but using simple Python scripts, or there's also libraries for C and other languages, you're able to actually use these pins to interact with the world. We'll probably see examples later on, but I've seen some pretty interesting projects on there. Other uses for the Raspberry Pi can be a simple media server to connect to your TV. One thing it can do is run a version of the Xbox Media Center. Other things you could do is maybe just storage, network storage. You plug a hard drive into here and just hook it up to your network so that you can access your files through your other computers. There's many projects you can do with these. Just go to Google and type in Raspberry Pi projects. You'll see many. And a lot of them are pretty interesting. You'll probably find a bunch you want to try yourself. So on board the chip, we have Ethernet. We have 4 USB ports with host support, so you're able to connect like mice, keyboards, cameras, joysticks, there's lots of peripherals that'll connect with your Raspberry Pi. What we're going to actually do today is we're going to load Noobs onto an SD card. What Noobs is the new out-of-box software. Basically, in the beginning of Pi, you had to flash an SD card, which can be a pretty dangerous process. The program you have to use can, if you set to the wrong drive, you can basically format sorry. You can basically format the hard drive that's in your computer. Obviously, that's a bad thing. So with this, what you can do is basically drag and drop a zip file onto the SD card and put the SD card into your Pi, and you're ready to go. All you gotta do from that point is select which operating system you want and let it install. So let's take a look at what we're gonna need, and then let's do this. So let's take a look at what we're gonna need. We're gonna need the Pi. We're gonna need a USB cable for the Pi. It's gonna be a micro USB. We're gonna need an SD card. Got here a 4 GB and an 8 GB. We're gonna put this on the 8 GB. I've already got Rasbian installed to this one. That's another 8 gig. We'll just put that aside for now because we're gonna look at Noobs. Now I don't have anything on this yet, so we're gonna go from start to finish. Now what you're gonna need here is gonna depend on what you have available on your computer. If you have an SD card reader, you may only need one of these. It's just a micro SD to SD. Just put the card in there, and then put that in to the SD card reader. So if you don't have a SD card reader on your computer, you may need one of these. This is just an external card reader. This one reads all sorts of different cards, from full-size USB, which you could of course just do that, But this one happens to have a micro SD reader right here. So I can just plug this in and use that. But the computer we're going to use today actually has an SD card reader, so we're going to use this. So let's get started. Alright, so what we're going to need on the computer side is a file called Noobs version, well, this could change in the future, obviously. As of now, it's Noobs version 1.4.0, and it's a .zip. So we're going to go to raspberrypi.org, and we're going to click on Downloads, and they've nicely got this right on the front page of this tab for you. So there's two files here. There's the Noobs offline and network install, which is what we're going to be using, and there's the Noobs Lite. As explained here, the difference between these two is that this one, offline and network install, is an easy operating system installer which contains Rasbian, which means it already has the image included. For Noobs Lite, it's the same, but it doesn't actually contain Rasbian. Wait. Yeah, it doesn't actually contain Rasbian. Thought I misread that for a second. So, if you were going to use Noobs Lite, you would have to plug in your Ethernet cord, plug in the SD card, then plug in your power, obviously, and then actually download whichever operating system you wanted to use. So if you were going to not use Rasbian, you'd probably want to use this one, because it doesn't include the image file. But as we're going to go with Rasbian, we're going to go with this one. So go ahead and download the zip, and that'll likely go to your downloads folder. I've moved it to my Raspberry Pi folder here. So I've got it sitting here under System Images. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plug in my SD card. I had a massive system failure while trying to screen capture this the first time on the other computer, so this time we're actually using that SD card reader and hoping it works. Excellent. So here we have our removable disk with Noobs on it. What I'm actually going to do, though, is format this. So we're going to go right from start. The Noobs version that's sitting on that is probably corrupted anyway, as it was going over to the SD card when the crash occurred. So we're going to format this as FAT32. You can see we're using the 8 gig card. Now I'm going to just do quick format and start. So this could take a couple minutes. If it does, I'll just edit this part out. Oh, that was pretty quick. So close that. And this next part I know will take a little while. So what we're going to do is I'm going to snap that to this side. I'm going to open my removable disk in a new window and snap that to this side. I'm going to grab the entire Noobs zip, drag and drop over to the other folder, and while that takes it's probably 10 minutes to move over, I'll pause this screen capture. Okay, so now that we have our Noobs put onto our SD card here, we're going to safely remove that. Eject removable storage. And we'll go back over to the camera. Hey guys, so we're back over here at the computer, we've put Noobs onto this SD card. We're going to pop that SD card into the Raspberry Pi and see what happens. So we'll plug that in. And then one thing I forgot to mention we're going to need is a mouse and a keyboard. So I'm going to reach into the back of my computer here, and I'm going to steal my mouse and my keyboard. So I got a wireless. I'm going to plug the keyboard in here. I'm going to take the mouse. I'm going to plug the mouse in here. I'm going to bring this over here. It's going to be a bit hard to see back here, but this is where I have some Ethernet. And an HDMI cable. The magic of having 3 hands. So, now we've got all that plugged in. What's next? Power. So we're gonna plug it in and power it up. It's maybe not under Blu-ray. Yeah, it's not under that one. Well, this is odd, guys. So, this is Rasbian booting. It's booting just fine. Plugged actually into that power thing just in case. But Rasbian's booting fine. So, yeah. I guess I'll try and put it back on and see what happens. Okay guys, so I'm just gonna try something on a whim. Since we didn't get a boot or really an attempt to boot, I'm deleting Noobs from the SD card here. And I'm going to try Unpacking Noobs onto the SD card. So I've opened it up in 7-zip here. I'm going to select it all. And once this is done deleting, then I'm going to move all of this over to the SD card. So this is taking a while. I'm going to pause this video and I'll get back with you in a minute. Okay guys, well that was a fail on my part. I didn't read the documentation properly. Extract the files from the zip. Okay. Oh, and they also suggest using this specific formatter from the SD Association website. I have foregone that step. I am just using the Windows formatting tool. So, oops. Didn't mean to bring that up. There we go. So now we have everything in the Noobs folder extracted to the SD card. We're going to give this another shot and see what happens. Alright guys, let's try this again. We've got the SD card here with Noobs on it. Hopefully on it correctly this time. We've got the Raspberry Pi here with everything hooked up. And let's give it power. We'll switch over to the correct input on the TV first, which I believe was that one. I probably should have paid attention to that too. We'll plug in the Pi. And what do we have on the screen? We have the Pi. So this is my first time even trying Noobs. I'm not sure what's going on here. It's gonna resize the fat partition, I guess, first. For recovery mode, hold shift. There we go. I did not hold shift. I didn't touch anything. Noobs version 1.4. So we've got Rasbian, data partition, Rasbian boot to scratch. For those that don't know, Scratch is a programming language. So that is a version of Rasbian that boots straight into Scratch. We are going to Rasbian install. Warning: this will install the selected operating system. All existing data on the SD card will be overwritten, including any operating systems that are already installed. Let's explore a little first. Is there anything else we can do? Down here we got language. Let's go English US. I'm in Canada. Keyboard. That looks like all there is to do. So let's install Rasbian. Let's go yes. So, welcome to your Raspberry Pi. We're currently setting up your SD card, but don't worry, you'll be able to start programming very soon. So, looks like it's going to be just around 2 gigs. So this could take a little while. Oh, here we go. Alright, we're here at 100%. It's now 9:48. So it's been about 20 minutes. So I haven't touched anything. It literally just hit 100% as I hit record on there. So, just waiting for it to do something. I have just enough time to go get my dinner. So I'm hoping it does something soon so I can get back to my dinner. Still just rolling the tips. And down here it says it's completely done. Not sure what's going on. Oh, it's writing. No, it just keeps doing that. Writing, then stopping, then writing, then stopping. Oh, my camera really does not like rechargeable batteries. So I'm gonna stop recording And when it finishes, I won't touch anything. I'll just grab the camera and hit record. And I'll let you guys know how long this takes. Wow, literally as I hit the record button, it started finishing. So here we are now. OS is successfully installed. So, okay. And the screen went black. Seems to have restarted. And it looks just like Rasbian when it boots. Which again is what we told it to install. So it's going through, just setting everything up, mounting file systems, and all that Linux stuff. For those who may not know, what Rasbian is a specific version of Linux Debian or Debian. Not sure how to pronounce that, sorry. Basically built for the Pi. So I'm not sure what it's got it held up here. Regenerating SSH host keys in background. Oh, here we go. Should let us log in soon. Ah, right, okay. So it booted us straight into Raspi config, which is good because the first thing we're going to want to do is expand the file system. That just means it's going to ensure that all of the SD card storage is available to the operating system. So we're going to go ahead and hit enter. Your partition layout is not currently supported by this tool. You are probably using Noobs, in which case your root file system is already expanded anyway. Okay. Well then. Let's just finish. Let's see about booting the Pi. Here we go. Looks like it logged us in anyway. Didn't have to put the Pi password in. Which, for future reference, username is Pi, password is Raspberry. So, let's just go ahead and start X. So what startx does is start the GUI, which we'll hopefully see here in a second. Hopefully. Maybe. There it is. Okay, so I think some things are a little different compared to my other one. SD card, that is. The start menu seems to be in the top on this one. On the other one, it's a little emblem in the bottom. As well as the desktop's not really populated on this one. but it seems to have everything on it. Mathematica, Python 2, Python 3, Scratch, Wolfram, Sonic Pi. Oh, maybe not. It's only got a standard web browser this time instead of Dilo, and I can't remember what the other one was. Task manager, terminals, text editors, file managers, all that nice stuff. Oh, Python games, and we've got Minecraft Pi still. Let's check that out. Oh, cool. Start a game? Oh, I guess we gotta create a new one. What else is in here? Well, that builds. Preferences, audio jack controls, keyboard and mouse, monitor, theme appearance, Wi-Fi, window settings. Seems like a little different than my other one, but relatively the same. Come on, focus. There we go. It's pretty neat that this little computer can actually run Minecraft. A stripped down version built specifically for the Pi, of course, but Minecraft nonetheless. Pretty nice. Anyway. Alright guys, so that was our quick look at the Raspberry Pi B+ and Noobs software. Hopefully you guys read the documentation a little better than I did. But all in all, I'd say that turned out pretty good. Seems pretty user-friendly. And I still like my Pi. Anyway, all that YouTube stuff, like, subscribe. You know the drill. Have a good one, guys.